following program may contain language that is not suitable for all audiences. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hey, wake up.
What's the big idea, fella? And easy on the Jean-Paul Gaultier, will ya?
Well, I'm sorry, but is it true? Aren't you Jack Nicholson, the Jack Nicholson superstar?
As a matter of fact, you're sitting next to the Jack Nicholson, megastar. I'm sorry, I didn't catch the name.
Well, I'm Howie Mandel. You and me are doing a show together tonight, live from London.
I knew I was on this plane for some reason.
Yep.
Hey, wait a minute, I know you. You're that crazy guy who's in that TV hospital thing.
That's right.
Where else?
No.
Else.
No.
Elsewhere. St. Elsewhere.
St. Elsewhere.
That's the thing.
That's right.
Good work, Howie. I don't mind telling you. I reckon some of my co-stars must have been lobotomized. Don't you just get tired of all those darned nominations? I know I do.
So what'd you think of my last show?
It probably will be. No disrespect, fella, but let me get some sleep, huh? I gotta be ready for my adoring British public.
Hey, Jack, we're flying over a cuckoo's nest. Jack Nicholson.
Tonight, Howie Mandel presents England's hottest comedy star with your host, Elton, and Rowan Atkinson, Dawn French and Jennifer Saunders, Jeremy Hardy and Spitting Image. And now, live from London, here's Howie Mandel.
Wow, I'm in London. I'm Howie Mandel, and we're live in London. This is so weird. A lot of people in America have never been here before. I haven't spent. Spench is the American word for spent. You'll get the hang of it by the end of the snow. By the end of the snow. No, but I haven't spent much time here, and it's, you know, it's so different. You have an image of things, and then when you actually see them, they're different. Why are you laughing at that? That isn't a joke, but I'll let you know when there is one. Anyways, no, it's so true. We see London, we always see in postcards. When you live in America, you see pictures of London in postcards, and on the postcards, I gotta tell you, your city looks so lifelike, right? But when you get here and you see it's a cardboard cutout, it's just so amazing. This whole set is amazing. This is like on a rooftop. It makes you want to sing Chim Chimney, Chim Chimney, Chim Chim Chiroo, but I won't. Anyways, this is just so neat being here. I'm just glad to be here because I didn't think that I was gonna be able to come, but I did, so that's why I closed my jacket, right? No, I didn't think I was gonna make it here so fast because I was at my hotel and I napped a little bit longer than I would have liked to, so I got in the cab and I said to the cab driver, get me to the Hackney really fast, right? So around every corner we were going, and then by the time I got here, my throat was so sore. Because it's a long trip. Anyways, You people here don't know this, but the people in America who are watching, I'm not usually topical. None of my act is topical. And I never go to the newspaper for my act, but you know, I figured I'm in another country. I'd like to read the newspaper and really get a feeling for where I'm at. So I got the Sun. They like me. I bought the Sun here, and I was just looking at the news. I got to show the people in America, page 3. Look! This is big news! Okay, they don't like tits here. That's so great. We got to move on with the show. The show's going to be great. I'm your American host, but you know your British host. He's a big star here, a very funny man, a great guy. You're going to love him. He's going to start off the show. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together and then apart and then together, because that'll make a clapping noise for Mr. Ben Elton.
Yes, indeed. Now, ladies and gentlemen. Wow, I love showbiz. You get a cheer before you've done anything. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much to Howie for introducing us to the United States of America and his highly selective view of our press, but there you go. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm very happy to get my chance to speak to people in America, because I'd love to be able to go over there and do some gigs. Now, the reason for this is because we're no longer scared of America. It's got to be a safer place. In Europe, we used to think, oh, don't go to America. Oh, it's going to be really, really dangerous. But believe me, it's getting safer, because they're beginning to ban smoking. Well, phew. Never mind about getting caught up in a cocaine-crazed riot and shot. At least you don't die of second-hand lung cancer, eh? That's a lovely thought, isn't it? I mean, they are banning cigarettes in New York City. This isn't a country. They're doing it for safety reasons. This isn't a country where you can buy a handgun over the counter, you know? Watch out, he's got a cigarette. Ah! What's that bulge in your pocket, kid? It's a Magnum, it's a Magnum. Okay, I thought it was a packet of cigarettes, all right? Okay, kid, take one. Make my day. It's strange, you know. It's such a strange morality in America. So many good things and so many bad things. I suppose like any other country. But it seems to be a bit topsy-turvy. I mean, like the religious leaders seem to be the most worrying people. All those evangelicals doing all that, you know, etc., etc. I've just been told, I was reading in one of our papers, actually, about how they got new toys in America for kids. Religious toys. And what they do is they kneel and they pray, and a little doll prays. You know, it's lovely. It's meant to inspire an evangelical zeal in the kid. Obviously, if the toy was really realistic, once the kid leaves the room, the toy would pick its pocket and shagged and fucked the nearest teddy bear, you know what I mean? I mean, really, those evangelicals. Now then, we have our problems over here. Those evangelical preachers you've got, they really are the most, but it worries me, because they do say that what America does 5 years later will happen in Britain. And I'm just waiting for the sight of the Archbishop of Canterbury getting caught with a prostitute in a motel. And trying to nuke shit out of the Russians, you know, that'd be really great. So, anyway, I mean, what are the things going on at the moment? I've been reading the papers, trying to do my research for this show. I mean, apparently the big problem at the moment for the Democrats is they're trying to get their liberal angst together. They're trying to adjust to the idea of a black man in the White House. They're trying to adjust to that, you see. Now, the Republicans don't have that problem, you see, because they say there's no problem having black people in the White House. I mean, after all, who's going to polish all the silver and make the coffee, you know what I mean? That seems to be the Reagan case. Oh, bit of politics, there you go. We don't know how it's going in America, but it seems to go down like a turd in a water strike. Here, so, ladies and gentlemen, I mean, we cannot claim, we cannot be proud. Howie showed you a bit of our disgusting British press, and we know that the biggest news in Britain is always the royals. Doesn't matter what happens, we've got 3 million unemployed, picture a lady died trying to get out of a car, so, oh, we saw her knickers, you know, that's what we do. I mean, I tell you, it's 2 years since Chernobyl, 2 years since the big disaster of Chernobyl, when incidentally, it's 2 years anniversary, when Americans, our friends in America, told us that the Russians had given the world's greatest ever nuclear disaster. Which, coming from the people who dropped the atom bomb in Hiroshima, I think's a bit rich, don't you? Now then, don't you start. Don't you start. Listen, Churchill would have done the same thing if we could have afforded it, and don't you think he wouldn't? Only being a little bit cheeky with our new friends in the States. I mean, this thing about Chernobyl, you know, I mean, honestly, while we had Chernobyl going along, what was on the front page of all our papers? Fergie marrying Andy. And what were they worried about? Will she be a dignified addition to the British royal family? No. They wanted to know, has she got a fat ass or not? That was what the British press were interested in. All the time they're saying, has Fergie got a great big raddled old cat flap, and will they be able to crowbar it through the door doors of the Abbey on the day. I mean, times have changed. I don't think Queen Victoria had to suffer speculation about the size of her arsehole, did they? I mean, the whole respect for the royals has broken down in this country. I mean, we were all out there on the day of the big wedding, shouting up on the balcony. There were Andy and Fergie, and we were going, go on, kiss him, kiss him. I mean, where's it all going to end? Go on, give him a blowjob. Go on, get on with it. I mean, that's what's coming. Go on, fuck him. Sit on his face, Your Majesty. We respect you. I mean, that's what's coming. 20 years from now, when Prince Harry gets married, I mean, the press has got so despicable in this country, it'll be click, the front page of every newspaper. Ooh, the picture that charmed the world. Prince Harry slips it into some horse-faced yappy. OK, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have a fine show tonight. I want to introduce a fine new British comedian. I know you're going to enjoy him. I know you're going to enjoy him in America. Please welcome the fabulous Jeremy Hardy. All right.
Well, thank you, Hackney, and good evening, America. Now, for the people in America who obviously aren't quite aware what a glittering celebrity I am in this country, I'll fill in a few biographical details. I come from a very large family indeed, mammals, as a matter of fact. And my mum was a classic matriarchal figure. She'd say things like, Jeremy, eating on Yom Kippur, it's a day of atonement, it's a day of fasting. Playing football on Saturday, the Sabbath, you want to break your mother's heart? And I'd say, Mother, we're Church of England. Dad was adopted and obsessed with finding out who his real children were. And I was a strange child. I was a bit of a loner. I didn't have lots of playmates. In fact, I didn't even have an imaginary friend. I had an imaginary nodding acquaintance. Mum would sometimes lay an extra place for him at dinner times, and I'd say, well, don't really know Colin that well, Mum. I recently had a personality test, and this was done by a graphologist, a handwriting expert, who told me that I'm extremely immature, because I print in crayon and put my arm around the paper. But part of my rather mild-mannered demeanour is the fact that I'm a vegetarian. I operate under the principle that meat is murder, but fish is justifiable homicide. But I am a bit of a solitary figure, I suppose. I'm married now, but before that, I didn't have much of a sex life. I always had lots of very close friends who didn't think about me in that way, and I think that was very supportive of them, really. Bastards. I had this one particular friend who, we were very close, and there was an intensity, there was a real passion there, but there was no sex, because she felt it would spoil things. Spoil her sex life, I suppose, probably. She said she just wanted to be like a sister to me, so she breaks things and then blames me for it. I told her I used to have baths with my sisters, but she wasn't impressed by that, oddly. There are ways, however, of finding fulfillment. I don't know if anyone remembers leaning up against the washing machine. I still do that, actually. Just on the final spin, nothing kinky. I can't say what I feel for it is love, but I respect it, and I think that's important. I recently bought one, because you can't do it at the laundromat. People don't understand. This suit, though, got this in return for sexual favours. I went to Superdrug on my brother's behalf. They're only 5 hours behind. Come on! Only 5 hours behind in New York. Concentrate. But, no, the worst thing about AIDS, though, is it's become an excuse to attack gay people. The argument is that AIDS was sent to punish people for being homosexual. Well, in that case, what was the plague for? Was that to punish people for wearing period costume? Anyway, it's nice to be on TV, but the funny thing is, you've been on TV and then people see you live and they say, you look much bigger on television. They must have fucking big televisions, mustn't they? Anyway, I'm not that small. I mean, in proportion to the size of my genitals, I'm quite big. So, My name is Jeremy Hardy. If you've enjoyed yourselves, don't feel dirty. It's perfectly natural. Good night.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was Jeremy Hardy. Right now, it's a pleasure to welcome onto the stage a very, very, very big star in the United Kingdom. He sold out 3 months in the West End, which is our Broadway only recently. And I know going to be big excitement in the theatre. Let's hope you're really excited too. I know you will. Will you please welcome my friend, Mr. Rowan Atkinson?
Hello. Or to put it another way, good evening. And now, here is a short recap of the news of the week. For the hard of hearing. In Britain, there has been a lot of controversy over the IRA shootings in Gibraltar. And now, abroad. The Queen is in Australia for the bicentennial celebrations. While in the Middle East, there is a lot of tension in the wake of the hijack in the Iran-Iraq war. While the French have started the lead up to the presidential elections. While in America, Ronald Reagan is still trying to push ahead with an American federal budget of $1.1 trillion. Thank you. Good night.
Very, very good. Very, very, splendid. Very good. Enjoyed that. Please, please. What are you doing, Ronnie?
I'm not here. I'm not here.
Why don't you come up and watch the show?
I'm not falling for that old trick. I know what happens to presidents in theater boxes.
Don't be silly. It's perfectly safe.
Well, that's all very easy for you to say, but your brain's lucid. Mine's as addled and scrambled as a banana.
Oh, come on, Ronnie.
Okie dokie. But only because I'm disguised as someone no one would want to assassinate. Pretty darn good, huh? No one's gonna shoot me dressed like this, Mags.
Ronnie, your memory is failing.
Yeah, everyone says my memory's failing, but believe me, everyone says my memory's failing. But believe me,
Ronnie, aren't you forgetting something?
Yes, sir, I sure was. This footrest is terrible. Stop moving about, George. George, why don't you just go back to sleep? It's good practice for when you're president. Yes, I almost remembered. I want to refute these claims that Larry Speaks wrote my statements. I've always written and will always write all my own statements. Just read this out, Mr. President. I think it covers most points. Yours, Marlon Fitzwater, speechwriter to the President, room 501, the White House, huh?
Shut up, you dribbling idiot.
I love a woman with balls. Especially when they're mine. Can I have them back, please, you wild, foxy fruitcake of a dame?
Spitting image there. Terrific stuff. We'll be seeing them later on in the program. It's such a pleasure to be hosting this show for you with my mate Howie Mandel.
Wait a minute,
everybody enjoying
this. What did you just say?
Well, mate Howie Mandel.
No, I know, but it's going to America, and I just got to explain something. I know when you said my mate Howie Mandel that you mean my friend Howie Mandel.
Obviously.
But in America, if you told somebody you were my mate, that would mean I was fucking you. Because we have like mating season, not friendly season. We fuck our mates.
Oh, I now understand American foreign policy. That's what you did to Noriega, isn't it? He was friends for years, now you're fucking all over him. Good for you, okay? Terrific. Oh, bit of political satire there, love it today. Finally got round to it, yeah?
You got a lot of other words. You got a lot of other words that we don't, like, what do you say for cigarette?
Well, we say fag.
No, you can't say that on American television. See, that's a derogatory remark for
gay people, I know.
Yeah, you can't say that. If you came to America and talked the way you talked and told people you were my friend, they'd think I was a cigarette.
Wow, that's pretty terrible, because then they'd ban you. I mean, you know, you wouldn't be allowed in public places anymore.
Also,
anyway,
wait, one more. How do you say hand?
Hand, Howie.
Oh, okay.
Nice. Well, obviously, our double act's got quite a lot of way to go, ladies and gentlemen, but that's international cooperation. Right now, we're going to introduce a really seriously fine double act. Please welcome the fabulous French and Saunders!
What are you doing this weekend?
I'm going riding in the country with my family.
Got a pony?
No, I haven't got a pony. I've got a horse, actually.
How big is it?
You don't say how big is it when you're talking about horses. You say how many hands is it, please?
How many hands is it, please?
It's 16 hands, thank you for asking.
Do you know what I'm doing this weekend?
No. But what? What are you doing this
I'm
weekend?
going to stay with my boyfriend.
Does your mum know?
Yeah, she doesn't know his parents are going away, though. You know contraception?
Yes.
What is it, then?
Well, if you're asking me that, it must mean you're going to do it. Going to do it. You're gonna have it off, aren't you? Well, it's a good thing you asked me because I know. The first thing you need for contraception is a lot of towels. You have to get dark-coloured ones because they're going to get covered in a lot of goo and muck later on. And you go up to the parents' bedroom, you take off the bedspread, you spread out the towels, and you get on the bed and you just have it off.
Yeah, how do you know when you're having it off?
You don't know anything, do you? Have you ever seen a man's toilet parts? Not, right. A man has 3 dangly toilet parts, right? And the middle one is the important one. He calls this his pee-pee or his todger. Now, when he wants to have it off, the todger stands up about that big, and it's got all sort of cactus things coming off the side of it. All right, and when that happens, you know you've got to get on the bed, open your legs a bit, and wait for the eggs to come, stupid.
What, like your period, then, is it?
Oh, not like your... Do you know about the 4 holes or not?
Not.
Right. You've got 4 holes, right? 2 holes in your back bottom, 2 holes in your front bottom. The 2 holes in your back bottom, one's for pooing, one's for weeing. The 2 holes in your front bottom, one's for the period, and one is for the eggs. So the egg is trying to come down the front hole. It's usually about that big, the egg. And it's pushing and pushing its way down the front hole, but it can't get out because there's a bit of skin there, tiny bit of skin called a hymen. It's a bit like a trampoline, and it keeps bouncing the egg back up again. So the man, who by now the todger is this big, he just pushes out a big metal spike from inside it like that. And he puts it inside you and bashes against the hymen like that, and bashes and bashes it and bashes it like that, till it breaks and a lot of green slime comes out. That's when you know you're having an organism as well. The other way you know is because your eyes sort of go like this. Like that, yeah. And then the egg just drops out on the carpet, and you've got to wrap it in the towel, put it in the toilet, you see. And the next thing he does, of course, he just gets hold of the big spike at the end, and he bashes and bashes it again until more green slime comes out. It's true, he does. Then, of course, you've got to smoke. Well, he stands there and he waits for the todger to get bigger, bigger, and the top of the todger opens up slowly like that, and he's going, oh, God. Oh, God, oh, God, like that. And then 5,000 trillion billion fish come jumping out the top of it like that. And they're bouncing off the ceiling, they're bouncing off the wall, they're bouncing off the floor, they're everywhere. And you've got to scrape them all up like that into the towels and put them in the toilet. And you can't let the fish get near the egg because that's how you get pregnant, you see.
What, fish just die then, do they?
Well, most of them do. If there's any left, just sort of flapping around on the floor like this, you just grab hold of them like that, and you get a mallet or you get a book, and you just bash them over the head like that, and bash until they're all dead, sweep them all up, put them in the toilet in a towel. It's a very pleasurable experience, the whole thing.
Well, I know. Having a baby can be a pleasurable experience as well, you know.
Have you had a baby or not? Have you not, right. You get a pain in your tummy and you are rushed to the hospital in an ambulance, right? And a doctor invites all his friends over and they look up your toilet parts. And they say, oh, that doesn't look big enough to let a baby out, does it? Because a lot of people think babies come out forward, diving like that, but they don't. They come out sideways. They come out sideways like that. You've got your legs up in stirrups, right? And he gets hold of a big sledgehammer like that, and he says, we're going to bash the legs like that. Bash them, and he breaks all the bones till your legs are pointing backwards, up like that. Pointing upwards like that. He's got hold of it, and he opens it up like that, and he says, the baby's coming, baby's coming, like that. And the baby pops out, and it's covered in orange blubber, which you've got to eat. Then he gets a big knitting needle and some wire, and he stitches you all up, puts plaster of Paris on your legs, sits you in the wheelchair for the rest of your life. Very pleasurable experience, I really think.
Thank you very much. Glad I asked you, because the only person I know is married with kids, you see.
Yeah, but I didn't get pregnant that way. I put my kids in the toilet.
Yeah, French and Saunders. Fabulous stuff. French and Saunders there, ladies and gentlemen. Just moving my own microphone, show how egalitarian we are in this country and also that we haven't got any money. So, ladies and gentlemen, I had a very unfortunate experience. Only recently, I was halfway through a Big Mac and I nearly choked to death. Mind you, it could have been worse. I could have finished it. But while I was choking, I began to wonder that one day we will all choke on a Big Mac or on a hamburger. And I will tell you how it is. Because I was a bit drunk. I mean, you've got to be drunk to eat fast food, haven't you? I mean, that's why Colonel Saunders' Kentucky Fried Chicken is always full at night and empty in the daytime, isn't it? You know, because I mean, the daytime's totally empty. You walk past ringing bells shouting unclean, unclean with crosses. You know, but after a few pints of lager down the pub, you reel out well drunk and think, oh, I could just do with a bit of rammy old gristle wrapped up in shit and deep fried. So anyway, I was a little bit drunk. I don't understand being drunk. I mean, you live in a strange parallel universe when you're drunk. A kind of different reverse values where good is bad and bad is good. What a great night me and the lads had last night, eh? It was fantastic. We could not walk. We couldn't talk. I mean, you get the same effect when you break your spine. Screw up your central nervous system. It's a lot cheaper and it lasts forever, lads. I don't understand booze. Why do we do it? I mean, I always get a hangover, and when you get a hangover, you get no sympathy. You've been poisoned, but you get no sympathy. Well, I've got no sympathy. You bring it on yourself. You never had to do it. You're a silly boy, or you did it yourself. You didn't have to do it. Well, what about the hang glider who breaks his or her legs jumping off a cliff? Does anyone force them to entrust their lives to a sheet of polythene? No, but they get plenty of sympathy when they hit the ground. Oh, you poor bloke, there you are, broke your legs. I'm saying, you stupid bugger. You should have been down the pub with me. I've got a headache, you can't fucking walk. So, ladies and gentlemen, the world changes without our knowledge, you know? Got to power along here, keeping a fine, tight ship for this show. The world changes without our knowledge. I mean, when I was young, I didn't drink, and then later on, I started to drink. My world just kind of shifts. Like, I can remember when a telephone looked like a telephone, right? I mean, if you were to ring in your sitting room, you knew you had to look for that big telephone-shaped lump of plastic, right? These days, it could be anything. I'm picking up the toaster, listening to the cats. I mean, you've got Mickey Mouse-shaped telephones, Snoopy-shaped telephones. I mean, a telephone is not a toy. It's a serious instrument. How do you take it seriously? You're trying to have a business conversation and you're chatting to Snoopy's dick. It's not going to work, is it? I mean, the world, the things that inhabit our world, useless. Those carpets that people have on top of their toilets. Little pink carpet on top of the toilet. What's that for? I must say, that looks flipping cosy. I was going to have a piss, but looking at that, I think I'll curl up with a good book, you know. I mean, why stop with a carpet? Why not put a couple of chairs on top of that, an occasional game? We're having dinner on top of the toilet today, Granny. Is that all right? I mean, everything is introduced to strangely versatile pumpy toothpaste. Pump action toothpaste dispensers, easy grip, pump action. A couple of years ago, introduced pump action, easy grip, pump action with ease, up the tube, easy grip. Will someone tell me what was so difficult about squeezing a tube? But we're still going, oh look, you can get a pumpy one now, I must buy that. Oh look, it pumps. You buy your own for the first time, you can't wait to get to bed, get up the bathroom, have a pump, you know. Anyway, I was telling you about how we're all going to choke on a hamburger. Because basically, you know, when you're eating your fast food, you know, well, what's fast food about? Why was that introduced? I mean, why do we need fast food? Well, it's fucking horrible, but at least it's fast, you know. I mean, if it's got to be fast, if it's got to be speeding up, why don't they just flush it straight down the toilet, cut out the middleman? That'd speed things up a bit, wouldn't it? You go in your local Big Mac, Whopper, McBurger, hot dog, you know, flush us a couple of Big Mac and fries down the toilet, will you, John? Make it quick, got a bus to catch. He says, no can do. The YouTube's blocked up with diced gherkin. Why do they put that gherkin in? I mean, everyone hates it. Everyone has to lift the lid off and fish it out of the mayonnaise and put it on the table and some other poor bastard puts her elbow in it. It says the YouTube's blocked up. We're only serving liquids. Have you seen a McDonald's version of a liquid? A triple thick shake? You need an industrial suction pump to get it up the straw. People wander around with bleeding ear holes because they've been sucking too hard. Everybody sucks together, the windows of the shop cave in. Anyway, I was telling you why we're all going to suffocate on a hamburger. Because hamburgers are made of beef, right? And they might taste of shit, but they're made of beef, right? And beef is made of cows. That's right, cows make beef, and cows are made of grass. And it takes a lot of grass to make a cow. Now, be honest, think of it, a blade of grass, a cow. Big difference, right? And there's not enough grass in the world anymore, ladies and gentlemen. And all the burger firms, British, American, it doesn't matter, are going to the third world and cutting down all the trees and growing grass and growing cows and mashing them up and putting them in hamburgers. But those trees are a valuable part of the world's oxygen. And when they're all gone, there might not be any air left. And then we're all going to suffocate on a hamburger. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. What are we going to do now? Thank you. Howie.
I hate the sun. Okay. We got a special surprise. I would like to ask everybody to rise. We have a special guest here. I'd like to announce, ladies and gentlemen, Her Royal Majesty, the Queen of England, Margaret Thatcher.
Shut up! Go get yourselves a job. I'd like to welcome my subjects from across the Atlantic. We all appreciate here in the 51st state the special relationship between our two nations share. It's give and take. You give us your missiles and we take them. Myself and President Reagan, or as I prefer to call him, Bronco, we have a special relationship. He has a special name for the United Kingdom. Runway 3, he calls us. You know, on a personal level, he even promised to love me to the very end of the world. And do you know, he actually gave me the date. But I do find that let us not forget that both our great nations have an important role to play on the world stage. Gorbachev chose to stop over in Britain on his way to America. Admittedly, he could have used the toilet on the plane, but symbolically he chose our British soil to soil. I have to be going now. Thank you. I have to be going now, I'm so sorry. I have some business in the area. I'm closing down your local hospital. Bye-bye, poor people. Bye-bye.
Splitting image. It's just, you know, coming to a country, this is so far away from where I come from. Well, this is where I come from, but this place is far away. I've been going around, I've been like the stupid-looking tourist. I was in Piccadilly Circus today, and I'm trying to find things that we don't have in America. This is what I bought. Listen to this. This is neat, because we don't have these, and this is going to catch on when you hear about it. I bought one of those Swatch watches, and I bought a Swatch watch that we don't have in America. It clips onto your crotch. Oh, don't laugh, it's really neat. And the reason I like it is because it's a Swatch crotch watch. That's what the sign said, Swatch crotch watch, 5 pounds. I said, how am I going to hold that up? Anyways, Swatch, what's great about it is at 6 o'clock, the big hand's on my dick. And it's going to last long, too, because it takes a licking and keeps on ticking. Which is a big saying in America. I want a chance to, like, kind of meet the people. I haven't actually met people that want... This would be neat. Just, what's your name? What's your name? What's your name? I've asked you 3 bloody times. It's not like I have much time. I'm just trying to meet... That's neat how you got this matching with this. What is your name?
Jack.
Jack. Right. And I suppose this is Jill. And you guys just tumbled in here. Let me check your crown. What do you do, Jack? Well, I'm off today. Jack off is a term you don't know. Obviously, you do know. Jacking off is kind of an international thing. And that's good to see. What do you do, Jack?
I'm a salesman.
You're a salesman, and what do you sell?
Greeting cards.
Greeting cards to people with birthdays. I'm like a mind reader. What's your favorite little saying? Like a very British saying on a British greeting card.
Happy birthday.
Wow! I bet you that catches on everywhere soon. What's your name?
Jason.
Jason. And is everybody in alphabetical order? It makes it so much easier.
Yes.
And what do you do, Jason?
I'm a surgeon.
You're a surgeon? Wow. And have you ever played with, like, a woman's tits while she was under?
Yeah. Every time.
Every time. Get his face on camera. What kind of surgeon are you? What do you specialize?
I'm a general surgeon.
A general surgeon, so you'll only, if the lieutenant gets shot, you can't fix him.
That's right.
That's great, so you'll just open up any part for the money. That's good to see. What is your name?
Martin.
Martin, you're out of order, Martin. You'll have to move to the M section. What do you do, Martin?
I got a wine business.
You got a wine business. You just stand in a room and go, oh. Because a lot of people don't like doing it. What is your wine business? It is wine, isn't it?
Sure.
Isn't it amazing how I just come up with this shit? Is it like Martin's Wine?
Just about.
Just about Martin's Wine. That's a good name. I'd like, we're having meat. I'd like to order a bottle of just about Martin's Wine. Almost Martin's Wine is, I guess, the earlier edition of those bottles. What do you mean, just about Martin's?
It's my surname as well. Martin Stillwell Fine Wines.
It's your surname as well. I don't know what the fuck you mean. You mean your name is Martin Martin?
My business is called
Martin, isn't that redundant? What?
My business is called Martin Stillwell Fine Wines.
Right? Is that okay? There's a communication gap happening now. You said your name was your surname too, and we're talking about wines. I don't know what the fuck's going on. Help me, Martin, help me.
Should we get the surgeon to have a go?
What do you do? What do you mean? It is Martin's, and you are the owner of the company? That's great. Is this your wife?
No.
No. Are you fucking her?
You want an answer?
Pardon me? You are, aren't you? I can tell. No, it's not, don't applaud. It's not like I guessed that. I knew that everyone in this row was. See, I wouldn't know that by looking at you. I wouldn't know that, but you people leak a lot, you know? And that's so weird. You can't judge a book by its cover. You really can't. You know, I was in the back hall before I came out, and there was a short and stout guy standing in the back hall, and I'm looking at him, and he's standing there like this, right? So naturally, I figured this guy's a little teapot, right? Because he was short and stout, and here is his handle, and here is his spout. But it turned out he was just a coffee mug. This is so neat. I'm just excited to be here tonight. I couldn't sleep all last night. All I could do was this. All last night. I called down to the front desk. I said, I can't sleep. The guy said, can you do this? So I got 8 hours of this. I said, what should I do? He said, try counting sheep. I drove all over London last night looking for a sheep. I couldn't find one fucking sheep. But I got my sleep. The show must go on. Here's a guy you saw before. You're going to see again. I'm now a fan of his, and I'm sure you're a fan of his, and I'm sure now America is a fan of his. Ladies and gentlemen, Rowan Atkinson.
Something a little quieter. And on the third day, there was a marriage in Cana of Galilee. And it came to pass that all the wine was drunk. And the mother of Jesus said unto the Lord, they have no more wine. And Jesus said unto the servants, fill 6 water pots with water. And they did so. And when the steward of the feast did taste of the water from the pots, it had become wine, and he knew not whence it had come. But the servants did know, and they applauded loudly in the kitchen. And said unto the Lord, how the hell did you do that? And inquired of him, do you do children's parties? And the Lord said, no. But the servants did press him, saying, go on, give us another one. And so he brought forth a carrot, and said, behold this, for it is a carrot. And all about him knew that it was so. For it was orange, with a green top. And he did place a large red cloth over the carrot, and then removed it, and lo, he held in his hand a white rabbit. And all were amazed and said, "This guy is really good. He should turn professional." And they brought him on a stretcher, a man who was sick of the palsy. And they cried unto him, "Maestro, this man is sick of the palsy." And the Lord said, "If I had to spend my whole life on a stretcher, I'd be pretty sick of the palsy too." And they were filled with joy and cried out, "Lord, thy one-liners are as good as thy tricks." Thou art indeed an all-round family entertainer. And there came unto him a woman called Mary, who had seen the Lord and believed. And Jesus said unto her, "Put on a tutu, and lie down in this box." And then took he forth a saw, and cleft her in twain. And there was much wailing and gnashing of teeth. But Jesus said, "O ye of little faith." And he threw open the box, and lo, Mary was whole. And all agreed this was a completely brilliant trick. And they hadn't had so much fun since Nazareth won the Super Bowl. And Jesus was well pleased with her, and said, "From now on you shall be known as Trixie." For that is a good name for an assistant. And the people said, "We've never seen anything like this. This is great. You must be the Son of God." But the Lord said, "No, I am he who comes before." And they were sore amazed, and said, "Then, Master, how shall we know the true Lord?" And Jesus said, "By his name shall ye know him. And he shall have a slightly German name. And he shall be called Stephen. And he shall part the heavens and make extraterrestrials to walk upon the face of the earth." "Steven Spielberg!" they cried. And the Lord said, "Yes." Something like that. Here ends the lesson.
Here's typecasting. First of all, may I just say, God damn it. God damn it. Because God damn it is my goddamn catchphrase. Know what I mean? But there's more to old Jickety Jackie boy than catchphrases. Know what I mean? God damn it, there's hook lines for crying out loud. So let's not get heavy about old Jacko's performance being exactly the same for every picture. Know what I mean? God damn it, for crying out loud. I can do Shakespeare. To be or not to be? That is the goddamn question. Howie.
How are you?
Howie, you cannot interrupt me. I'm in the middle of my spot.
Well, the thing
I can do Samuel Beckett.
I know.
Samuel Beckett. Here's Gatto.
Oh, that's great.
How about that, Howie, huh? Not bad.
That's great. That's great. I just wanted to work with you. I know we were on the same show, but it's a real honor to actually do something with you. That would be neat.
Well, what do you want to do, Howie?
What do we want to do? You're in the way. Excuse me. Could you move that a little closer? We should improvise.
Okay.
Okay.
Up next on is Motor Mouth
himself, Ben Elton.
I could have done it.
Yes, indeed. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to discuss, just before we close, a little concept that haunts us all, and I think it's important we should share it. Since we're making friends across the Atlantic, we should share that which unites us. Because, you see, we all have a symptom. When I left the house today, I nearly couldn't get out. I nearly didn't make it to the show. Because, of course, I spend the whole time trying to turn off lights, thinking, oh my God, did I turn them off? Checking the gas taps, ringing the gas board, telling them to cancel the gas. And when I'm walking up the road, I'm thinking, oh my God, did I leave a load of burning cigarettes around? And maybe I left a big sign outside that said, burglars, the house is now empty. Please walk in. That is a symptom of a little devil that lives inside all our heads, whatever nationality, whatever race or creed. And that devil's name is called Captain Paranoia. And his job, or her job, is to leap out onto people's shoulders and whisper in their ears and fuck up their lives. It is the captain who is with you in the middle of the darkness of the night when you are trying to get to sleep at midnight and you hear a distant creak. The captain jumps out onto the pillow and goes, well, bugger me. Didn't that distant creak sound exactly like the stealthy footfall of a mad axeman? So you pull up your blankets tighter, because then you're safe. When a blanket's a really great guard against an axe, you know, it works every time. The captain is with us at all times. Beware, ladies and gentlemen, medical half-truths. I was unlucky enough to be told a few years ago that when your hands ache, sometimes it could be a symptom of a stroke, a heart attack. So every time my hands ache, the captain's going, you're gonna die. You're gonna die. You're having a heart attack. You're gonna die. I'm going, my hands ache. He says, yeah, your hand's aching. You're gonna die. I say, Captain, I slammed it in the door. He says, it doesn't matter. You're gonna have a heart attack. I go to the doctor. I say, doctor, there's this strange lump in the side of my mouth. He says, it's a piece of chewing gum. The captain's going, no, it's cancer. He's just trying to comfort you. That's all. The captain is a weird guy. I mean, in guy, bit of American, right on. Fair enough. I've done my research. Homelands. Anyway, so, where were we? The captain is a weird bloke or guy. In small things, in big things, he has us. You're walking along the street, and there is a police officer on the other side of the road. The captain's going, you look guilty. You look guilty. Don't know what you've done, but you must have done it because he knows. You go to a supermarket, you forget to pick up a basket. You're walking around, you get one item of shopping, suddenly the captain's going, everyone thinks you're stealing that, yeah. So you've got to walk around waving it above your head, trying to transpose with your body language. I am not going to steal this. I have every intention of paying with it. The captain has a surreal sense of humor, ladies and gentlemen. I think he takes drugs. Yes, because sometimes he does the weirdest tricks. Like if you're in a church. If you're in a church at a friend's wedding, right? And the vicar says, and now I wish to know if anyone knows of any just impediment why they should not be wed. It's the captain who's going, God, wouldn't it be terrible if you said something now? Wouldn't it be really awful if you said something now? God, you'd regret it for the rest of your life. 5 seconds and you have to kill yourself. It'd be so embarrassing. I'm going, Captain, I'm not going to say anything. You might go mad. You never know, you might go mad. The captain's favourite haunt of all is social occasions, ladies and gentlemen. He likes to mess up our good times. When we want a party, he wants to mess with your brain. You go to a party, any party, and always the captain says, no, you're being boring now. People have lost interest in you now. No, you're a bit drunk and you're really being boring. You ought to go, but you know you won't because you're such a sad act. In the morning is worse. When the captain wakes you up after the party, prodding you awake through your hangover, going, go on, wake up, wake up, come on, wake up, right now. What the fuck did you say last night? So you get up, consumed with paranoia, totally. And you think you have to ring your friends, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, ring your friends desperately saying, what did I say last night? Was I being embarrassing? Please tell me I wasn't being embarrassing. I know I was. I must have been drunk. And all your friends are going, you being embarrassing? What about me? I was being embarrassing because their captains have been talking to them in the night, and suddenly what was a lovely party has degenerated into a group of sad, farty little individuals, all desperately worried that nobody likes them. Because, you see, that's the true paranoia, not being liked. On your birthday, the captain hops out of the window and strolls up the pavement with the postperson and squeezes him or herself through the door and flops down on the mat with the rest of your cards. Your birthday cards, looking up at you, going, go on, count them. Count your flipping cards. Not very many, are there? Only ones from your family, really, and that doesn't count because they have to send them, don't they? That's because nobody likes you. The captain has messed with our brains since time immemorial. Ladies and gentlemen, he is not a modern phenomenon. And you try saying phenomenon when you're first chance in America with the clock winding down. All right, I'm cool. But, ladies and gentlemen, he is not a modern phenomenon. No, ever since the dawn of time. Since the first Neanderthal person was walking through the jungle thinking, oh, good fuck, did I roll me stone in front of the mouth of the cave? I can't remember. Captain Paranoia has been messing with our brains. Always. Julius Caesar only invaded Europe and created a huge empire because he was worried people thought he had a little dick, you see? Because of them Roman statues, they've got great big torsos, tiny little dicks, you see? Very weird. When Lincoln delivered the Gettysburg Address, ladies and gentlemen, the greatest piece of oration in American history, he afterwards comes off and goes, oh, do you think I was all right, to his wife? He says to his wife, oh, I think I was a real wanker, I was being really boring. I don't think they liked it. They seem to say they did, but I really don't think they actually liked it. Ladies and gentlemen, when Juliet killed herself for the love of Romeo, he was wandering round the Capulet tomb afterwards going, I don't think she loves me, I really don't. I think she's just trying to say something to Mercutio, you know, that's all. He has been with us for all time, but now, the 80s is the time for Captain Paranoia, his favourite period of history, because now he has the ultimate paranoia. He doesn't have to worry about, we all used to worry about nuclear war, didn't we? Everyone worried about it, and the captain would be really rubbing it in, going, yeah, and what's more, apparently, I've heard, if you're within 1,000,000 miles of the epicenter, your eyeballs get welded to the back of your skull, and that's true. But now, the captain said, nuclear war, I don't care, because he has the big one. The big one, because for every person over the last 18 months, the captains have been whispering the same thing on every little shoulder, whispering in every farty little ear, saying, go on, go on, go on. Analyze every last kiss, every little you ever had, every grope, every touch, because maybe, just maybe, kissing Granny under the mistletoe on the cheek in 1964 could have given you AIDS. Every captain messing with every little brain. Maybe you can get it off doorknobs, maybe you can get it off toilet seats, maybe you can get it from breathing the air of gay people. Every captain trying to divide us, trying to mess with our society, and you try and fight your captain. You say, Captain, you cannot get it from these social things. We do not need to divide people. Just sex and drugs if you're stupid enough to do that. Well, obviously sex, fair enough, but drugs is the thing we can't do. You say to your captain, you say, no, I saw a documentary on AIDS, you cannot get it socially, do not divide us. And the captain says, oh, watched a documentary on AIDS, did you? You idiot! Maybe you can get it from that. Ladies and gentlemen, do not fear Captain Paranoia. Do not fear Captain Paranoia. And let us not let him make us fear our brothers and sisters. Ladies and gentlemen, what a wonderful, wonderful show. Well, you've given us a great show. I hope we've done the same to you. My name's Ben Elton. It's been a wonderful night for me, and I hope for our guest and friend, Howie Mandel.
Live from London,
It's so long, guys.
and hip, hip, cheerio.